No, drunk driver! No drunk drives. Let's get right off into it. I spoke on this before. I'm saying it again because I feel it is prevalent, it is practical, and this knowledge is needed. Now the video is going to go into a different direction, but it's tied into certain aspects of the current climate. We were talking about the police brutality, et cetera, et cetera. And my viewpoint of it was about solutions and unity and family being a part of the solution, because unity and family equals togetherness, right? Togetherness. That's the starting point. To me, that is the core of the solution. Now, they got other people, they got people that are talking about getting laws changed and all that. Salute to them. Let them do that work. Work can be done in many different aspects, many different forms. You want to attack a problem from many different angles and areas. I can only talk about what I know, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about what I'm good at, you know, so that's what I'm doing ultimately. And the video is going to be about how to identify a dirtbag man or male, because they're not men, they're males. How to identify dirtbag males. The reason I am reaching out to my sisters, I can only talk about what I know. Like I said, I really just talk about what I know and what I'm feeling on the inside. But for the most part, it's going to be geared towards women. The reason being is, well, first, I've noticed most people who have supported have been women. So salute to y'all. Salute to y'all queens. And that's not by accident, because the queens have been the backbone in our community for as long as I can remember, right? It's always been that way. Now, that's not to say that there have not been strong men. I'm just looking at numbers, percentages. Most of the time, it is the woman, right? And a lot of times, it's not really by choice. It's by necessity. Because the woman deals with a male, and that male turns out not to be a man. And they may turn out to be a dirtbag. The woman is the one who has been left with the ongoing effects of failed relationships dealing with dirtbag men. In a second, I will get to I will identify what I classify to be a dirtbag man, male, right? Now, one may say, why don't you talk to the men, because they're the ones who's doing it? And once again, okay, the relationship is male and this woman, right? The way I look at it is, typically in society, the male is the one who is the more aggressive. They go and pursue the woman, right? They go and pursue the woman. This is not going to change. Women have what the men want. Let's just keep it real. Yeah, we're going to get into some type of grown folk talk, but it's just reality. I don't shy away from reality. Ultimately, yes, the women have what a man wants. That's just point blank, period. I don't care what type of man it is. That man is going to pursue that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Let's not play stupid. And because of that dynamic, the woman has now left to filter out what type of man who should be involved with. And that's where the problem lay because of the filtering process. And I don't think women have been equipped with the right tools in order to filter. This is no knock on you all. It's no slight on intellect or anything of that manner. I'm just looking at the results. I see far too many single parent households. Just because you have a single parent household, that does not mean you cannot engage in co-parenting. It takes two. So typically when that happens is because the woman has involved with a dirtbag man, male, or however you want to call it. Dirtbag. Dirtbag. These are good quality women. Dirtbags affects all of them. See, the problem with trying to educate the man is because it's singularly focused on the dirtbag man, right? But the effects are with all women, quality women, not so quality women, whatever. They are all dealing with the effects of a dirtbag man. What are the effects? Let me break it down to you. When you have a man, first of all, let me get into what I call a dirtbag man. A dirtbag man or male is a male who impregnates a woman and then does not stick around to handle his responsibilities. That is a dirtbag male. Dirtbag. 2, a male who engages in physical abuse of the woman. That is a dirtbag male. Just because they're getting into an argument or a dispute, he wants to go upside your head. That should not be tolerated. That is a dirtbag male. Verbal abuse, consistent verbal abuse, unwarranted. Not saying any type of verbal abuse is warranted. I am trying to put you in a mindset to use critical thinking. So when I say verbal abuse, I'm not saying, hey, you're going to argue, voices will be raised. That happens with anybody. We're talking about consistent, unwarranted. Oh, you didn't make my breakfast right. And they just going off calling you all types of names and all this other stuff. You need to get away from that person. That is verbal abuse. That is a dirtbag male. Another dirtbag male are child molesters. People who engage in sexual abuse on children or on other women. That is a dirtbag male. Men who rape. Dirtbag. Men who lay up at a woman's house and does not contribute to any type of support financially, etc., etc. That is a dirtbag male. Now, the effects of everything that I've said are most concentrated on the women. And these effects are sometimes lifelong effects, negative burden, negative stress, all of these things that women are enduring at the hands of a dirtbag male. The dirtbag male is not they're not having the effects of not taking care of the child. They're just going out and making another one. They're not having the effects of the rape and all this other stuff. I'm not saying that you really don't know, but from what I'm seeing, they're not. They're just not. Because it's in their mind and their brain, they're I guess to be nice about it, they're just not mature enough to handle that type of responsibility. I'm being very nice. So these are people you should not be involved with. Everybody says this. Of course, this is common knowledge. The thing is, how do you identify those people? Because I think everybody knows if someone were to come to you with a card and say, yo, I'm a man who does not take care of my children. I'm someone who will molest your children. I'm someone who probably will rape you. I'm someone who will physically abuse you. 10 times out of 10, a sane woman will avoid that person. Unfortunately, it is not that easy. So these dirtbag men are utilizing, they're masking all of this. And this is what they are doing. Well, it's not so much this is what they're doing. This is my advice. It's one of the advices that I am giving out. And I wrote this down. And this is specifically for the women. Do not let unworthy individuals benefit from your qualities. Let me say this again. Do not let unworthy individuals benefit from your qualities. That is the root of this. This is how it grows. That is the root cause. Do not let unworthy individuals benefit from your qualities. So if you are someone who are thinking that you can fix up a man, all he needs is a little love, care, and support to fix up that man, that is a dangerous game to play. I am telling you, do not play that game. Chances are you're going to be left holding all of the burden and turmoil associated with dealing with an undeveloped male. So don't do it. It's not worth it. As a man, from a man's perspective, I do not need, nor should a man need a woman to assist them in ascending to manhood. That is taught by another man. I don't need my partner to teach me how to be a man. Coming from a man, that sounds crazy. It doesn't make any sense. If that male is undeveloped, leave that male alone. Trust me, it will save you a lot of heartache and pain. You do not want to go that route. Once again, do not let unworthy individuals benefit from your qualities. That's why I'm making this video, and I'm here to assist. This is not any knock on the woman. Ultimately, it's almost, I'm acknowledging the worth of a woman, the value of the woman. So I'm here to assist. I'm here to I'm here to give you a behind the scenes peek at what's behind the curtain. Don't wait till it actually happens and you're dealing with the effects, and then you want to start, get this person out of my life. Of course, that's good, but think about all of the effects you now endured. You now have a child together with this man. You're raising a child on your own. You're not co-parenting. Your life has changed. Your social life has changed. Now everything is about food, clothing, shelter. You're doing the work of two people. That is stressful enough. It's hard enough to make it in this world with two people working together, let alone one person doing the work of two people. That is not normal. It is not normal. And the mental anguish that come along with it it just causes substantial damage. And the way to really avoid that is to prevent it. And you have to be able to identify. A lot of people talk about, don't get involved with X amount of men, but how do you identify these people? So here we go. I wrote down some stuff. Hey, you don't have to take my advice. It's up to you. You don't have to do anything. All I'm going to say is take a good look in the mirror, right? Take a very good look in the mirror. And if your luck, or whatever you want to call it, you've continuously dealt with dirtbag men, you might want to get your pen and paper down and listen to this game I'm about to give you. This is no knock. Everybody learns from someone or something. It's better to learn from wisdom that has been passed down from somebody else rather than going through the experience. Now, I know experience that sometimes is a great teacher, but in this circumstance, you don't want to go through those experiences because a lot of the time it comes along with a lifelong negative effects. And you're going to be you're going to be dealing with that for the rest of your life. So no, don't do that. But here we go. Here goes some tips on how to identify a dirtbag male. In no particular order. So I wrote down, ask for money. Yeah, ask for money. I know in societal norms, you don't want to be viewed as someone who's asking for somebody's money. He's going to think I'm a gold digger. That's what you all are thinking, right? Yeah, you're thinking with the correct mindset. You're coming from a place of morale. You have to think about it in this manner. What you want to do is reverse the objective to where you become the extractor. Because dirtbags, they dump and they extract. They're not here to build. They are incapable of building. They are incapable of building. So that means they are incapable of providing proper love. They are incapable of providing proper food, clothing, shelter, all of the necessities that comes with responsibility. I am telling you, these people are incapable until they decide to ascend to that level of manhood. You cannot assist them in that. I'm telling you this. Don't waste your time. So when you ask for money, what you're doing is you're reversing the objective to where you become the extractor. And you know what comes from that? The dirtbag has now, you're putting him in an uncomfortable position. He now has to determine if you are worth the investment. Remember, his goal is to dump and extract. Now, if you flip it and you want to do it casually, say you lost your card or something like that. I lost my bank card, you got 60. Mind you, this is someone you're talking about getting involved with physically and emotionally. So that little $60 should not mean nothing if that man has the correct intentions by you. Or is he able to produce that? Now, it's not all about money. I get it. And I'm not saying that. But if he can't, if he don't even think of you that much to where I'm going to help her while she's in need, that should be a red flag. Now, he's going to give you any type of excuse under the book. But remember, a man will always do what he sets his mind to accomplish. So that's why I don't give any man an excuse for not handling his responsibilities. Because that same man, I bet you if he has a drug problem, he's figuring out how to accumulate money to get that drugs, to get that drink, to get whatever he desires. He's making that happen. And food in his mouth. He ain't starving to death. How is it happening? He don't got the money. That's what he's telling you. Oh, I can't do that now. You know, y'all done got a kid together, but he don't have no money. But he's still living life. He's letting you know how he feels. So no, I don't give no man, no male an excuse. Stop giving these males excuses. And this is coming from a man's perspective. Real men, I'm 100% sure they will co-sign what I am saying. Real men, right? So when you ask for money, figure out a way to do it in a slick way and within the context of conversation. You know, you don't want to be viewed as someone like that because that can scare a quality man away. So yeah, but you want to do something. You have to do something to reverse the objective. Put him on a hot seat to where now he has to decide whether he's going to invest in you. And if he has no intention to building with you, chances are he's not going to invest. And he's going to figure out a way to squirm out of that. Oh, I don't have it, or catch me next time, or whatever. Well, if he don't have it, then how are you able to, why should I give you my time? Right? Yeah. So the next one. Be careful of a guy who who's very emotional. Right? And the reason I say that, when you notice a male is very emotional, they are more prone to have uncontrolled anger, which leads to domestic abuse. That is why that should be a red flag. Most people who engage in domestic abuse, chances are they have uncontrolled anger. So when you're seeing that uncontrolled anger, don't look at it like, oh, he's just passionate about this. You need to be careful because that uncontrolled anger can be guided to you, in the form of physical abuse or verbal abuse. Either or. Get away from it. Don't get involved. Get away. There's plenty more men out there. Women, you have the luxury to pick and choose what man you want. Because every man wants what a woman has. Just keeping it funky. We being real right here. This is what we deal with. Reality. I don't hide away from reality. I don't believe in taboo subject matters. All right. And I wrote down another one. How do you figure out what's domestic abuse is. It is, I don't want to say it's tricky, but this is something that it sticks out. If the dirtbag initiates a push, punch, slap, etc. because of a quarrel, if he's the one initiated, we're not talking about if the woman's slapping a man upside the head and he just react, oh, get off me, and then he may hit you or whatever. I'm not talking about that, nor am I condoning it, but that's more like a quarrel, like, yo, you need to keep your hands to yourself too. You need to keep your hands to yourself. But if that dirtbag or that man or male, y'all just getting into it and he initiates with a punch, with a slap, whatever that is, just because y'all are quarreling, you need to get the hell out of there. That is a bona fide dirtbag. There's no excuses. Oh, you want to help him. You don't give him no excuses, thinking like you can help him. I wrote this down. Oh, maybe he was having a bad day. No, you're trying to justify it. I'm telling you, that is a dirtbag, man. Get the hell out. Or you may think, I caused this upon myself. No, you did not. That man did that because he is not a true man. He's not a true man. Get the hell out of there. Or you say, I'm going to stick it out for the kids. What you're doing, ultimately, even though your heart is in the right place, kids mimic parents. So if they see that, they're going to deem that as acceptable behavior, or that something that trauma is going to go with it's that energy is going to transfer into that child. That emotional stress, duress, and all that other stuff, it's going to transfer to that child, and that child's going to grow up with that. And they're going to be more lenient towards a man who gets physical because this is what they saw. These are the examples that were set. That is no excuse if that man is initiating physical abuse like that. Get the hell out. Get the hell out. Another sign of dealing or identifying a dirtbag, no car. Now, I'm not talking about you're 18 years old, 20 years old, 21. Man, you're still trying to work up and get your bread up. That's understandable. We're talking about adults. No car. And what this is, it does not mean you are materialistic. It does not mean that. This is what it means, and I wrote this down. It is an indicator of how a dirtbag man conducts business, or is he even capable of conducting business? Car is for transportation. Transportation is a necessity for the most part in conducting business. If that man does not have a car, that gives you insight on how this man conducts business. Any real man conducts business on a day-to-day basis. Go to work, taking care of the household, etc., etc. Now, it does not necessarily mean that this is a bad guy, this is a dirtbag, but he has some work to do. And if he got work to do, move along, because remember, you are a woman, you have the pick of the litter. You don't have to stand for that. Just go get another man, not a dirtbag man, get another man. It's that simple. It is very easy, very easy. Get another man, right? So if he don't have a car, I'm looking at it from the mindset, because there was a time when I didn't have a car. That was because I was young or whatever, but I didn't have a car. Once I obtained a car and I start accumulating finances and all this other thing, I cannot even fathom myself being without a car as a man, because now I am unable to handle my responsibilities, go to work, etc., etc., or maybe I'm just depending on someone to handle my business for me. You see what I'm saying? I don't like that. That is an uncomfortable feeling as a man. That's why I say if that man does not have a car, red flag, move along. Yeah, it's been nice talking to you, but I'm going to go somewhere else. Trust me, it will save you a lot of heartache and pain. What these identification techniques, all this is doing, it's not guaranteed. Nothing in life is really guaranteed, right? What you want to do is increase your percentages. That's all you want to do. Increase your percentages. And this will increase your percentages of landing a man of quality, right? You may want to ask the guy, how many kids do we have? You're going to talk to him, right? Ask him the questions. Don't be shy. Ask the man the question, how many kids he has. What that is, you're evaluating how he handles responsibilities. Because now you're going to have follow-up questions. What gift did you buy your child for their birthday? right? These are innocent questions, but it's within the answer, you're going to be able to find valuable jewels. When you ask them what kind of gift did he buy for their birthday, if generic, it can indicate the dirtbag has little interaction with the child. So if it's a generic gift, generic, not specific to the likes of that child, that is an indicator that this man is not involved in his child life. So if this man is not involved in that child life, he had that child with another woman, what do you think he's going to do when he has a child with you? You need to think about these things. This is how you break it down. This is how you break it down. I'm telling you. Ask questions, and the jewels and the flags will appear. You may want to ask them. These are just generic stuff. I wrote down, what was the last item or assistance you helped your child with? Right? The last item or assistance that you help your child with. Once again, you're trying to figure out, how does this man move? Is he someone that is involved with that child? If he is, that is a pretty good indicator. Hey, this is an okay guy. If we do have a child together, he's not going to leave me high and dry, right? So you're kind of getting into his morals. Not all of the sweet talks and whatever, but how he moved morally, right? Now, you may want to ask, do you attend PTA meetings? Now, I don't know. That's another one. But it's just an indicator. What you're kind of trying to do is have an indicator of involvement. How involved is this man in this child's life, right? Next one. Well, this is not really an identification to a dirtbag. I'll get to this one next. You may want to ask, how is the relationship with your father or with your mother? What you want to do is, remember, you're reading, almost like reading between the lines or whatever. It's what you're doing is trying to find these jewels. So when you ask them, what's your relationship with your father or with your mother? What it does is you're evaluating his conflict resolution skills. You're evaluating, how does he treat loved ones, right? So that's what you're doing. And then based on his answer, you can kind of dictate, engage from there. You can dictate, engage from there. If you don't have no relationship with his mother or his father, chances are his mother or father could have been like, yo, you need to get your act together. You need to get your act together. You need to get your act together. Most dirtbags don't like that. So then they separate ties. They like, I don't deal with that. They don't want to be forced to do good. They don't want to hear that. They run away from problems. They run away from responsibilities. So that's just an indicator. Once again, it's not 100% or whatever, but it increases your potential, your percentages in identifying a dirtbag. Therefore, you should not get involved. Simple as that. Remember, you have the pick of the litter. This is not like it's a shortcoming of males out there. Every male wants what the woman has. So you have the pick. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Listen, listen. But okay. So another thing, this is what get people in trouble. Maybe I should have broke this down into another video. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna break that down to another video because, I'm right at 30 minutes now, and I have to be cognizant that the length of these videos. Ultimately, what I'm trying to convey to my sisters out there, do not let unworthy individuals benefit from your qualities. And in order to do that, you must do the work on the front end. You must be able to filter out these dirtbags. It is a lot easier to prevent than to deal with the effects, because the effects can be ongoing. That is back end work. Back end work is long, it's tedious, it is stressful, it is actually more work. Any of you women who have dealt with a man who is not involved in that child's life, you know the work that I'm talking about. Any woman who has dealt with a man who maybe has sexually assaulted them, you know the work and stress that I'm talking about and deals to recover from that. Any woman who has dealt with a man who has physically abused you, you know the work and the stress that come along with that. Any man that has dealt with a man who has molested your children, you know the stresses and burden and turmoil and the work it takes to dig yourself out of that. Any woman who has dealt with a man who has laid up in their house without contributing, you know the stresses and the effects of that. So you know I am not lying. You know I'm not out here spreading false information. These effects are real. You cannot rely on the man to do, I want to say do the right thing. You have to remember in the terms or the context of dating or whatever, the man typically is the pursuer, right? So when he pursues, he sees something he wants. And I've already said men want what women have. We're just being real. I'm keeping it funky. The reason you cannot put it on that man, and the reason why I'm coming to the women, because the women are the one, once again, you all are the one who are dealing with the effects. The man is not. So let me put it to you in practical terms. It's almost like asking a criminal to obey the laws of, hey, why'd you rob me this way? You're the innocent bystander, you have the criminal. And then you're going to ask the criminal, well, hey, don't do that. You're breaking the rules. Why you rob me this way? No, you need to protect your assets or whatever it is. So asking the criminal, because the dirtbag, their mindset is throwed off. It's messed up. So it's the same thing as asking a criminal who's robbing you to rob me with class or rob me with this, or why are you doing this? No, you need to protect yourself. And in order to protect yourself from that criminal, you have to use preventative measurements. Identify, yo, where do criminals lurk? I shouldn't be out here at night, etc., etc. Know that criminals do exist. So that is equivalent to trying to, hey, well, it ain't my fault. The man has something to play with this. I know he does, but he is the dirtbag. Or in another instance, he is the criminal. Of course, he's going to break the rules. He's going to use deception or whatever it is to dump and extract, to take away from you. He's not going to play by the rules. Therefore, you need to equip yourself with the knowledge so that you can identify. And what you do by identification, you prevent the negative effects of dealing with said personnel. It is not them. It is you are the one dealing with the effects. That's what I do not want that message to get lost within this video. It is because you are the one that's dealing with the effects. You. And how does this all play? Unity and family. Right? You can't have family when you're dealing with a dirtbag. You just can't. I'm not blaming you for dealing with dirtbags. All I'm saying is the reason it may have happened is because you did not identify. You maybe ignored red flags. Maybe you didn't know what type of red flags there were to even look for. I don't know. I just know it keeps happening. And it bothers me. So if you rock with me, anybody who rocks with me, I'm always going to offer assistance. That's the type of guy that I am. So if you rock with me, and I see that women have rocked with me, this is my assistance that I'm offering to you. Coming from a man, right? Coming from a man. Take it. I'm telling you, it works. Take it. Now, no one is asking you to be alone. I'm not saying to be alone. Everybody know that male, female, they're going to be involved with someone. Nobody is asking you to be alone. And this is where it gets a little, I don't want to say tricky or dicey, but I'm just going to be real. When you're on earth, man and woman, they're going to interact. So that's why I say nobody's asking you to be alone. All I'm doing is like, yo, I'm teaching you, or not so much teaching you, I'm telling you what to look out for with dirtbag guys. There are a lot of men who don't do that. So if you're going to get involved with a man, just make sure he's a guy who will take care of his children, or shown the qualities or traits of a man who will take care of the child and not leave you hanging, who will not be physical abusive, who would not be verbally abusive, who would not be a child molester or a rapist. who would not just lay up in your house. That's it. No, I'm not saying if a guy doesn't do all this, he's Mr. Perfect. What it does, it eliminates the worst of the worst case scenarios. And if said relationship doesn't work out with a guy who does not do any of those things, now you're the one who is not left with the burden, right? So even if y'all do have a child together, y'all don't work out, okay, you're co-parenting. That frees up your time. You don't have all that stress, right? You're not dealing with the negative effects of someone physically abusing you, who verbally abuses you, who may have raped. A lot of women have been raped. People not talking about that. A lot of people have been sexually assaulted, right? But these are certain type of guys who do that. So if you're going to date, you're going to mingle, friends with benefits, whatever you want to call it, I don't know, because people are going to get physical. I'm keeping it funky. I don't do taboos over here. I'm keeping it funky. So if you're going to do that, take a small amount of time. Ask them these little questions. I'm telling you, you'll be able to prevent from dealing with a dirtbag. It increases your chances of dealing with a quality man. Since you have the pick of the litter, it makes that easier. So what? You know, dirtbag, get him out of here. I don't care if you like him, get him out of here. Dirtbag, just go get another one. Go get another man who fits that mold of criteria. And it doesn't take long to identify. It does not take long to identify. And if you're going to deal with a man of a certain quality who's not going to do all that. Right? It's simple. It's simple. No one is saying, yo, you got to be, what's that word? Practice abstinence and all this other thing. I'm not saying I'm against that. I'm just saying, is that practical and realistic? No, it's not. Being real, I'm being funky. Nobody's telling you to be alone. Nobody's telling you to practice abstinence. All I'm saying is, it is very easy to identify a dirtbag. I don't hang around dirtbags. That's what really made me think about it. I'm like, man, I don't hang around a man who don't take care of his children. I don't hang around a man who physically abuses women. I don't hang around a man who verbally abuses women. I don't hang around a man who rape. I don't hang around those guys. So if I'm able to identify him and I'm nobody special, this is why I'm like, yo, I can pass this knowledge down. And the people who I hang with don't hang with guys like that. So real men don't hang with guys like that. We don't invest that time with men like that. So neither should you as a woman. This is what I'm telling you, right? This is what I'm telling you. Man, all right, so I think that's it. Yeah, I just spoke enough, 30-some odd minutes, but I'm telling you, take this wisdom, take this game, take this knowledge. It's very helpful, especially within our community. I'm rocking with you. This is not a derogatory anything towards the woman. I don't care what the man think, especially the dirtbag, man. This ain't about nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't gonna say nothing. So shut your, I was finna say something else, but yeah, the dudes, I ain't worrying about y'all. So what? So what you don't like it? So what? Do something. You ain't gonna do nothing. That's part of the problem. You don't do nothing. You don't do nothing. That's part of the problem. But anyway, let me end this video because I'm getting worked up. But yeah, no drunk drivers. Till next time, peace.